Hi there, this is Bonnie. Some of you might know me as Bontanica from Instagram. Today I wanted to show you how to make a paper flower. I posted this one on Instagram and my friend Elizabeth asked me for a tutorial, so I figured I would make that for her. This isn't my idea. I'm sure lots of people have done it before. The first reason why I made it was I went to a literature poetry reading and someone gave me this. It's made out of a book. And I thought it was cool, and the next day, yesterday, I came home and thought I'd try to make one myself, but with what I had around, which is watercolor paper and paint. So that's how I did mine. The first thing that you would do to make this, it's very simple, it's nothing exciting, is either this one I just ripped the paper with my hands because I was not feeling like getting out scissors today to try something different. When I show you, I just cut out these pieces. I just did just random shapes. I didn't plan or think about it very much, but I figured what I know about flowers is, if you pull a petal off a flower, it's usually wider towards the top and tapered towards where it connects to the stem. So you can, I'm using, I'm a watercolorist, so I have thicker, nice watercolor paper for my work. But if you don't, I also had, I just thought the texture was interesting, but this is just a coffee filter that I had, and I thought you could make great flowers out of that too, because it's almost more of a petal texture. So I was going to mess around and see how paint, because coffee filters are meant to get wet, so we'll see how paint will take to it. I think it could be cool. So if you don't have watercolor paper, maybe try that, or whatever other interesting things you have around is how I usually make art. And then I found a stick in my backyard. These people, I don't know, it could have been I think it's one of those skewers that you use to cook food on. So if you have that, or if you have a stick in your backyard, or whatever things you have around. So what I did is I have some paints that it's my palette that I was already using, and what I just like to do is get the paper pretty saturated, because one of the things that I like to do when I'm painting sometimes is to have the paper already be wet and then add the color to it. And it's kind of fun to you can see random patterns form, and that's I feel like it mimics nature a little bit, because patterns in nature are symmetrical but random. So I was just trying to do that, and then just what I was doing was concentrating my color towards the smaller part, which is going to be the center of the flower, because if you look at a flower, usually the pigments in the petals are kind of more concentrated towards the middle most of the time, probably not always. So like that, do whatever colors you want. If you don't have watercolors, you could do watercolor, you could do anything. So I like to do that. And I'm smaller so that, you know, the petals in the middle of a flower are kind of smaller. And I'm just using tape because it's what I have. If you had that fancy floral tape, that would be better, but I don't. I just have this one kind. So you can see there's the first petal, and just kind of build it. I like to overlap them a little bit. And then when the paper gets more dry, what I'll probably do is form the petals more as it's drying so that they kind of like open up, kind of like a little blossom. But let's see. So you can see it's starting to kind of look like that. I think if you have kids that have a good attention span, you could do this with your kids. They'd probably like it. It's not, and they can, you know, you don't have to give them a lot of instructions really. They could cut the paper however they want and it would still turn out interesting, and they could use whatever colors they want and still have something cool to look at and play with, or use as a wand or something in like their imaginary play. Something cool like that. So I'm going to kind of like bend this a little. It's still wet, so my paper's kind of pliable, so I can like shape it while it's wet so that it'll kind of dry like that, because this paper's thicker. The reason I really was motivated to make this, I don't usually make crafts like this that much, but Mother's Day is coming up, and it's something I thought my mom would like, because she likes these kind of things. So, and you know your mom always likes to get handmade stuff, so that might be a fun project for kids to do for their mom, or for you to do with your kids if they're older. I think I was looking at some different flowers to see how many petals they had on them, and a lot of them have odd numbers of petals, like 5 or 7. So I think that's what I ended up with, something like 7 or something like that. think once you have more than 5 or so, it starts to look pretty. It starts to come together a little bit. And I think you could do like a really cool speckling pattern or something like that, and that would look cool. So this is my last petal that I have here. So try to make it kind of symmetrical. And I think one of the things I learned after yesterday is that it's easier if your I don't know, a tail or whatever bottom piece that you're going to attach is longer. It's easier to attach to this, and thinner, so it doesn't have to fold so far around the stem that you're making. So, but that's just an observation I had when I was making one for the first time yesterday. So this one I'm gonna apply more tape, and because it's gonna kind of hold the whole stem together. And even though this polka dot tape isn't really optimal for this project, I don't know, I ended up kind of just liking the look of it anyway. So. But you could wrap that tape with something prettier, like some cord you have around, or you could figure something out that would be more natural looking than tape, and put it there to cover it and make it look prettier. So, and then you can kind of form your petals like that. That's about it. That's all I did. Pretty easy little 20-minute project. You could probably do it even faster if you just drank a cup of coffee or something. But yeah, making little bouquets of them would be super fun, give some to your mom for Mother's Day. There you go. Hope you guys have a good day. Let me know if you make this, and you can post a picture and tag me on Instagram at Bontanica, Bontanica.